yesterday. So remember, don't forget, we are busy revising the question paper that was written in May, June 2018. This is O-level mathematics, syllabus D, Code 4024. So we are going to resume from where we left yesterday, at question number 3. So question number 3, it's written, solve 3 open brackets x plus 10 is equivalent to 12 minus 7x. How are we going to solve this equation? And what is this equation, by the way? This is a linear equation. Remember, the highest variable, the highest power of the variable is 1 in this equation. Like our variable is x, and if you look at the powers that we have on this variable x, the power is basically 1. So we know very well that we are dealing with a linear equation. So the first thing that we have to do here, we need to expand the brackets. You know, the distributive property, it says that if you have a term that is multiplying an expression, let's take, for example, we have uh, A, open bracket, B plus C. So in this case, A is basically a term, right? A is the term that we have, and this term is multiplying B plus C. This is our expression. So we are going to say A times B, then we get AB. Then we are going to say A times C, then we get AC. We call this the distributive property. So in this case, we're also going to say 3 times x, and we are going to get 3x, and we are going to say 3 times 10, we are going to get plus 30. So 3 times x plus 10 gives us 3x plus 30. And this is equal to 12 minus 7x. Okay, so on the next step, let's collect like terms, right? How are we going to collect the like terms in this case? So we see this side we got 3x, and this side we have minus 7x. So we can take minus 7x to the other side of the equation, right? And at the same time, we can also take this plus 30 to the other side of the equation. The rule is those terms that you take from one side of the equation, right, to the other side, when you take a term from one side to the other side, the sign of that term must change. So in this case, we didn't take 3x anyway, so let's keep our 3x. So if we take minus 7 to the other side, it ended up as plus 7x. And this is equal to this curve. We're not going to take curve anywhere, so let's keep curve this side, to the right hand side. Let's take plus 30 to this side. So as we take plus 30 to this side, it ended up as minus 30. Okay, so what are we going to do next? Then the next thing, let's simplify, because these are now like terms. How do we simplify like terms? For us to simplify like terms, we simply add the coefficients of those like terms. So here we've got 3x, here we've got 7x. These are like terms with variable x. So remember, like terms are those terms with the same variable. So 3x plus 7x, we get 10x, which is equivalent to, and 12 minus 30, we get, if you say 12 minus 30, we get something like minus 18. Remember, this is small number minus big number. Don't say it can. 12 minus 30 is negative 18. So you're saying a small number minus a big number, simply take that big number and subtract with the small number. The result that you get, put it as negative. So here we now have 10x is equal to minus 18. But what is our target? Our target is to find the value of x. So how are we going to find the value of x in this case? So we are going to divide both sides by 10. So if you divide both sides by 10, something quite interesting is going to happen. This 10 and this 10 cancels, and x is equivalent to minus 18 over 10. Yes, this is our final solution. You might ask, can we leave our answer like this? The There is no problem because they simply say solve this equation. They didn't tell us the form in which we have to leave our answer in. So by the end of the day, our answer is minus 18 over 10. You can also reduce that in simplicity form for interest's sake. And if you say 2 into minus 18, you get something like minus 9. And if you say 2 into 10, you get something like 5. So the answer is minus 9 over 5. Yes, that's how we solve a linear equation. Let's quickly move on to part B. Part B is written, solve the simultaneous equation. Show your working. How do we solve simultaneous equations? Guys, the steps for solving simultaneous equations are so simple and straightforward. The very first step that you have to do, remember for you to solve simultaneous equations, there are so many methods um, of solving simultaneous equations. Either you can use the elimination methods, you can use the substitution methods, you can use the graphical method, you can use the matrices method, etc. But like what we did in class, I've seen that most of the students they prefer the elimination method. And recently we're doing very good in elimination method. So today I'm going to tackle this simultaneous equation using that elimination method. What is the elimination method all about? So for us to solve these two simultaneous equations, um, using the elimination method, the first thing that we have to do is to think of a variable to eliminate. Okay, do we want to get rid of y or we want to get rid of x? So, so the choice is up to you. As I'm teaching you right now, like I said, the concept is just the same. Let's get rid of x. So if you want to eliminate x, you come to equation 2 and check what is the coefficient of x in equation 2. In this case is 6. So we multiply here by 6. Okay. We also go back to equation 1. What is the coefficient of x in equation 1? Oh, it's 4. So we multiply here by 4. What's going to happen? We are going to form new sets of equations. When you say 4x times 6, we are going to get 4x. If we say minus 3y times 6, we are going to get minus 18y is equivalent to say, if we say 28 times 6, what are we going to get? If we say 8 times 6, we are going to get 8 for 48, right? Then we carry 4 and we're going to say 6 times 2, we get 12. 12 plus that 4, we get 1. 12 plus that 4, we are going to get 16. So yes, if we say 28 times 6, we get 168. Okay, what about 6x times 4? We're going to get 24x. And what about if we say y times 4? We're going to get a plus 4y. And this is equal to, if we say 9 times 4, we are going to get 36. So this is our new equation 1, and this is our new equation 2. Then, guys, get me right. Whenever you're using the elimination method, think of a variable to eliminate. That's the first step. Then on step number 2, multiply equation 1 by the coefficient of the variable that you want to eliminate from equation 2. And also go to equation 2 and multiply equation 2 by the coefficient of the variable that you want to eliminate from equation 1. Once you do that, you're going to come up with a new set of equations. But whenever you're multiplying, please multiply with the right coefficient. It's very, very important. Right. And then on step number 2, you have to say equation 1 minus equation 2. Always say equation 1 minus equation 2. That's the procedure. Only if you have multiplied these equations with the right coefficients. For example, let's say maybe we wanted to eliminate y. So here you're supposed to multiply by 1 because the coefficient of y here in equation 2 is 1. And on equation 3, you have to multiply by minus 3 because the coefficient of y in equation 1 is minus 3. So as long as you multiply with the right coefficients, on step number 2, simply say equation 1 minus equation 2. Okay, So let's see what's going to happen. We're going to say the terms that are in equation 1 minus the terms that are in equation 2. So we're going to get 24x minus 24x, right? We're going to get 0x. So we're going to eliminate 24x. Okay, what about if we say minus 18y minus, for the concept here, minus 18y minus 4y. So we are saying a negative number, a negative number. So we just have to add the two numbers, but the result is going to be negative. So minus 18y minus 4y gives us minus 22y. All right, this is quite interesting. Then we go to the other side of the equation. Say 168 minus 36, so 8 minus 6, you're going to get 2, 3 minus 6, you're going to get 3. Oh, sorry, 6 minus 3, we're going to get 3, 1 minus 0, we're going to get 1. So 168 minus 36 gives us 182. Okay, so our target is to find the value of y. So what are we going to do? Let's divide both sides by minus 22. Let's divide this side by minus 22. So what's going to happen here is quite interesting. This minus 22 and this minus 22 cancels. Then we get the value of y. So what is the value of y? What is 132 divided by 22? Remember guys, this is a paper 2 question, so you can also take use of a calculator. I don't have a calculator with me right now. I can bring the lesson with you because we want to strengthen our mental arithmetic. So let's try to do this by head. So if we say 11 into 132, we get something like 12. And if you say 11 into minus 22, we get something like minus 2. Okay, so if we say minus 2 into 12, we get something like negative 6. So yes, the answer here is basically negative 6. So 132 divided by minus 22 gives us negative 6. So yes, we now have the y value. So the y value, y is equal to minus 6. So the next step, let's substitute the value the value of y into any equation, either into equation 1 or into equation 2. I can substitute probably into equation 2 into equation 2. So equation 2 is written 6x plus y is equal to 9. So now we know that the value of y is minus 6. So we can say 6x minus 6 is equal to 9. So 6x is equivalent to 9 plus 6 after taking minus 6 to the other side. Then 6x is going to give us 9 plus 6 is going to give us 15. If you want the value of x, you're going to divide both sides by 6. Something quite interesting is happening here. Then straight away we see that x is equivalent to 15 over 6. So our x is 15 over 6 and our y is minus 6. So yes, this is how we were supposed to tackle this problem and get all these 3 marks. Let me just quickly summarize again how we solve simultaneous equations. It's very important. There are 3 main steps that you need to take note of. Step number 1, think of a variable to eliminate. In this case, our target was to eliminate x. So we looked at the coefficient of x here, the coefficient of x is 4, and here the coefficient of x is 6. So we multiplied equation 1 by 6 and equation 2 by 4. But what if we wanted to eliminate y? We were going to multiply equation 1 by 1 because the coefficient of y here is 1, and here the coefficient of y is minus 3. So we're going to multiply equation 2 by minus 3. But we didn't choose that way. So let's focus on the way that we've chosen. So after multiplying by the right coefficients, we ended up with the new equations. From the new equations that we got, we then say, step number 2, we say, let's take equation 1 and deduct equation 2. So after doing that, we got the value of y. And after getting the value of y, we then substitute into any equation. In this case, we chose equation number 2. And we then arrive at this solution. So yes, that's how we solve simultaneous equations using the elimination substitution method.